A shoe flies across India's highest court. A Brazilian leftist charms America's most unpredictable president. France burns through prime ministers faster than most people change passwords. And somewhere in the White House, Trump's again claiming that he stopped a nuclear war with tariff threats. Let's unpack it all. Good morning. Welcome to Top of the Morning by Mint. I'm your host, Nelson John. This is your smart daily briefing on what matters. From big moves in business to headlines shaping India and the world, we cut through the noise so you start your day informed and ahead. It's Tuesday, October 7th. Let's get started. Here's what just happened. Trump and Brazil's President Lula talked for 30 minutes yesterday. And the guy who sparked their entire fight, Jair Bolsonaro, didn't even get mentioned. Let's break this down. Trump slapped 50% tariffs on Brazil earlier this year, explicitly because Brazilian courts refused to drop coup charges against Bolsonaro, the far-right former president. Trump wanted his ideological ally protected. Brazil said no. Fast forward to Monday, that 30-minute call never touched Bolsonaro's September conviction or his legal troubles. Not once. Instead, Lula worked his diplomatic magic. The 79-year-old leftist had spent decades charming leaders who should hate him, from George W. Bush to Emmanuel Macron. Now he's trying it on Trump. His pitch was smart. He reminded Trump that Brazil runs a trade deficit with the U.S., exactly the relationship Trump claims to want with every country. He framed their conversation as pressing reset on a 200-year alliance between the hemisphere's largest democracies. He asked for tariff relief and sanction removal. Trump's response called it very good. They exchanged phone numbers. Trump told Lula to call anytime. They're planning an in-person meeting, possibly at a Southeast Asian summit later this month. Lula later said he was surprised by the cordiality and told reporters, "For us to start talking, it's important to begin lifting the tariffs, to remove the sanctions on our ministers and to start discussing things more honestly." Meanwhile, Bolsonaro's family is reportedly dismayed. His son Eduardo had spent months lobbying Washington to defend his father. He saw the U.S. as Bolsonaro's only escape from legal trouble and his only shot at running against Lula next year. Now Trump's chatting directly with Lula instead. What this really means? Trump's willing to ditch ideology for deal-making. Brazil could see that 1% GDP hit from tariffs reversed. And Lula just outmaneuvered Brazil's far right by doing what he does best, charming powerful leaders through sheer force of personality. The momentum's all his now. A 71-year-old lawyer threw his shoe at India's Chief Justice during live court proceedings. Rakesh Kishore walked up to the bench in Delhi on Monday, removed his shoe and hurled it at Chief Justice B.R. Gavai. Security grabbed him as he shouted, "India won't tolerate insults to Sanatan Dharma." What sparked this? Last month, Justice Gavai dismissed a petition to rebuild a Vishnu idol at a Madhya Pradesh temple. His comment, quote-unquote, "Go and ask the deity himself to do something." That line went viral. Critics accused him of mocking Hindu beliefs. Kishore told reporters he hadn't slept since. The shoe brushed past the judges, but Gavai stayed completely calm, told lawyers to continue arguments. Prime Minister Modi called it utterly condemnable. Kishore's been suspended from practice, though no criminal charges have been filed. What this really means is India's courts are now flashpoints in religious debates. And one frustrated lawyer just turned courtroom decorum into a national conversation. Donald Trump just doubled down on a bold claim. He personally stopped India and Pakistan from going to war. His weapon? Tariffs. Speaking from the White House, Trump said his threats to cut trade relations brought the two nuclear-armed neighbors to heel. Not only did we make hundreds of billions of dollars, but we are a peacekeeper because of tariffs. Here's the context. India launched Operation Sindoor against terror bases in Pakistan after 26 civilians were killed in Pahalgam. A ceasefire came on May 10th. Trump says he called both countries during the conflict and warned them, no ceasefire, no trade. I stopped the war. It was raging for 4 days. India's response? The ceasefire was bilateral. No American intervention needed. But Trump claims Pakistan's army chief personally thanked him, saying he saved millions of lives. What this really means. Trump's positioning tariffs as peacekeeping tools, not just economic weapons. Whether anyone believes him is the real question. India's foreign minister just laid out his country's stance on a volatile world order. And he's not mincing words. S. Jaishankar spoke on Monday about rising anti-globalization and tariff volatility. A clear jab at Trump's America First approach. We are in a period of weaponization of everything, he said at JNU. His message? India must be the go-to option for any crisis in South Asia. That's urgent right now. With Pakistan relations frayed and recent upheavals in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Nepal. But here's the thing. Jaishankar made it clear that India won't compromise its red lines in any U.S. trade deal, specifically blocking foreign goods from flooding its farm or dairy sectors. He framed India's challenge as overcoming the strategic diminishing from partition while rising amid global chaos. His vision centers on three drivers: demand, demographics, and data. What this really means is that India is playing hardball on trade while positioning itself as South Asia's stabilizing force. No bending to pressure. France just lost another prime minister. Sébastien Lecornu quit after 26 days, the third prime minister to fall since December. Here's what happened. Lecornu unveiled his cabinet on Sunday. By Monday morning, he was gone. Parliament hated his ministerial picks, especially putting former finance minister Bruno Le Maire in charge of defense. Macron immediately asked him back to draft a stability plan by Wednesday. Good luck with that. Let's break down why this matters. Macron gambled on snap elections last July after his party got crushed in European Parliament votes. Instead of a clear majority, he got a hung parliament with hostile factions refusing to work together. France's debt is now 114% of GDP, third worst in the Eurozone. No PM can pass a budget. Markets are spooked. Macron's options? Well, appoint another PM who will also fail. Call new elections that Marine Le Pen's far right would likely dominate, or resign, which he won't. France is politically paralyzed with no clear exits. That's all for today. Thank you for joining in. We're eagerly looking forward to our next Top of the Morning episode, which will be packed with the latest news. Until then, this is Nelson John signing off. Have a great day.